Hi everybody, it's Gail from Gail's Bookish Things. I had a wonderful time at the St. Louis Pen Show this past weekend, and I wanted to share some of the items that I bought or was given at the pen show, but I think I'll do that in some shorter videos, like do it in increments. So today we're going to start out with talking about the 3 inks that I purchased while I was there. The first one I alluded to in a previous video when I talked about the 2022 ink that I was able to obtain from our local pen meetup group, but this was this year's pen, fountain pen ink, and it's called Big Muddy. And the idea of that's the nickname for the Missouri River. And the color of this ink by KWZ is like a river. So it's kind of a brownish green base with a beautiful, abundant gold shimmer. I have tried it already. I don't currently have it in a pen, but I will show you a swatch of it. It's really super shimmery. If you've tried Golden Sands or Van Diemen's Queenstown Gold Mine, that's what this reminds me of. Can you see the shimmer in there? If you go to the Instagram account for the St. Louis Pen Show, you'll see some photographs of the river and sky and what they were trying to sort of reproduce in an ink. I think it's really cool looking, and it writes really well, but let's just do a couple swatches this evening. Actually, I said today, it's actually evening. So you can see a nice, I would call an army or olive green. As you can see, I'm using Tomoe River paper and Cosmo Air Light. This, I think, actually might be the original Tomoe River that I got from Paper Penguin Co. some time ago when there was still some of it floating around. I'm pretty sure. Currently, in my other notebooks, I have the Sanzen Tomoe River. And instead of Cosmo Air Light, I more often use, well, it's kind of a tie right now while this goes away, but I do a lot of the B7 Natural, which is comparable to this, I'm told, from the folks at Paper Penguin Co. Isn't that delightful? It's really a fun color. As it dries, the gold shimmer really emerges. We'll see. We can look at them when they're all dry. I feel like it's even appearing a little more rapidly on the Cosmo Air. That's how it's looking to me, but we shall see. The other one I got was Colorverse Spirit. Unfortunately, this only comes in the small bottle, but it has over and over been just the perfect pen ink for this pen, which I've shown numerous times. This is by Tailored Pen Company, and it's the Churchill model, and it's called Havasupai Falls, and it's a place in Arizona. This Spirit ink is a perfect blend or match to go with this predominant color here. This, what I call turquoise or green leaning turquoise, like the end piece there. I love their little boxes. They're cute how they have things themed. They even put a little pipette in there because the opening on that is so small. But I'm not going to actually use the box now because I still have a pretty good amount of sample from my pen friend Myra. She sent this to me several months ago and I love it. So I'll re-swatch that. You may have seen my original video when I swatched all the inks that she sent me, but just because I got my own bottle, we will do this. This is kind of maybe not the most efficient well, it's efficient, but maybe not the most ink-saving way of swatching, but I feel like I've got a good amount now, so I don't have to guard this quite as carefully. It's such a pretty green turquoise. They had lots of Colorverse inks at the show. They had Iroshizuku inks. They had Andoryllium inks. A lot of Diatramentis. And speaking of Andoryllium, I was looking for a pink, and I asked the lady at Derail Pens, the wife of the couple that have this company, and I asked her for a pink that was a wetter pink. It seems like pinks, from what I read on the different websites, kind of tend towards being dry. But she suggested this one, and it is definitely pink. It, to me, seems like a neon pink, which probably would not be my first choice on the swatch card they had available. It did look a little different, but it does write really nicely. The other day I was kind of playing around with it and found that I really had fun with this bright and vibrant color. It makes me think of summertime flowers when they're at their peak and they're just looking so vibrant and beautiful. I don't know what flower is that color, but it just has that look of a fresh bloom with all its glory before it starts to fade. I find this is an interesting bottle, though. My friend Charisse gave me an Andoryllium ink sample called Michigan Avenue. It was in a different shape bottle, if I remember correctly, from what she showed me on a picture. This is creative, but it just makes me think of a little jam jar. And there's nothing wrong with that, I guess, but I'm not as drawn to that. It just, I don't know, it doesn't seem like a jar for ink, but it really doesn't matter. That's beside the point, right? So that is really not a way to evaluate an ink. I just am not a huge fan of that. I will say, though, it's a nice stable bottle with the broad bottom and the nice wide opening. You can get any pen in there to get your sample or your ink in your pen, whereas like the little Colorverse ones, you have to use the pipette or use a bulb. What am I trying to say? A blunt syringe or like one of these little pipette things to fill it. Or you could do a eyedropper, maybe, depending on what kind of pen you're inking. So here we go. Let's take a look at that. Do you see the gorgeous shimmer on Big Muddy? It's so shimmer saturated. That's the best way I can think to describe it. But they did a really good job on the Instagram pictures showing why this is like the river, with the actual scenery from parts of the Missouri River. And of course the beautiful spirit and the vibrant, lively, roseate spoonbill pink. I looked up that bird and it's kind of in the flamingo family, and similar in that its coloring is partially due to food that it eats. So that was something new for me to learn about. And I actually think I will have fun with this during the summer, maybe Valentine's Day-ish. Certainly not, to me, a winter color, but it gets me out of my comfort zone with colors, and it is really beautiful. Seems to be wet flowing. We'll see over time how it goes. So I'll be back again later, and I'll show you the pens I got at the show, and I will show you the things that I purchased from Travelers Company, which had a nice booth there. And I've got to say, the people at the Travelers Company booth were absolutely amazing. They were so friendly, so sweet. And everybody I encountered at all the booths, all the tables, were very willing to help, answer questions, let you look at a pen, sometimes sample inks and so forth. Just really a nice gathering of helpful, friendly people. Everybody was there for the purpose of enjoying pens. There were some people that had come that had never written with fountain pens, but they were intrigued by the event and they came. It was just the perfect venue and really a lot of fun. So if you have a chance to go to a pen show and you're a little bit curious, I think it's worth it. The St. Louis one is only $10 for a 3-day pass. And I mean, you just can't beat that, I don't feel like. So that's all for now. I will be back again soon, like I said, with another part of the pen show take-home item. So thank you for watching. I hope you find these interesting, and comment below on what you think of the Big Muddy, but really any of them. So thanks for watching. See you again soon. Bye.